They say politics is a dirty game, but what people fail to understand is that it is also a long game. Some politicians spend years, decades even, trying to get into power. In this video, we are going to be looking into 3 of these politicians in Nigeria who by all standards have struggled, and I mean struggled for political power. Some succeeded and some did not. The first politician is a man named Atiku Abubakar, and he has contested to be Nigeria's president 6 times and lost all 6. Yeah, seriously. You might also be shocked that this his dream to become Nigeria's president began over 30 years ago. In 1993, he began chasing this dream by contesting to be the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party. This just came after the military head of state of Nigeria at the time, Ibrahim Babangida, decided to hand over to a civilian government. But Atiku lost to a fellow party member named Mushid Abiola, but the elections were later annulled. This didn't discourage Atiku, as he went on to decamp from his party, the SDP, to join a new party named the People Democratic Party, PDP, in 1998. It was on this party's platform that he contested as the vice presidential candidate of Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999, ending up winning and becoming the vice president of the 4th Republic of Nigeria. He ruled for 8 years from 1999 to 2007, but that wasn't enough for him. Vice president still wasn't president, and now that he has come so close to becoming president once, he couldn't just let it go. So he left his party PDP and joined a new party named the Action Congress in 2007, becoming their presidential candidate for the 2007 presidential elections. He contested that election, going on to lose to Umaru Yar'Adua of his former party PDP, who won the elections, and Muhammadu Buhari of the ANPP, who came second, with him coming third. He still didn't give up yet. In 2011, he decamped from the Action Congress, rejoining the PDP. He then went on to contest in their presidential primaries, but he lost yet again to the incumbent president of the time, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Now, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was the vice president to Umaru Yar'Adua, but he took over when his oga passed away in 2010 from sickness. May he so rest in peace. Because of this, he was in a unique position of completing the tenure of the late president and also serving as a fully fledged president for 8 years. So yeah, you could say he had good luck. He could still be voted out too, but you know, in Nigeria, it is very hard to unseat an incumbent. Atiku, who saw this in 2014, decided to yet again decamp from the PDP and join an alliance mobilized by a man named Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who convinced different mushroom parties in the country to combine their collective political strength in a bid to unseat Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. They dubbed this alliance or party the All Progressive Congress. Atiku contested their presidential primaries ahead of the 2015 presidential elections, but lost to Muhammadu Buhari, who went on to win the presidential elections under the banner of the APC. Knowing fully well that Buhari would like to complete his tenure of 8 years, he saw no future for himself in APC and decamped back to the PDP in 2017 ahead of the 2019 presidential elections. Surprisingly, they still chose him as their presidential candidate. He contested the presidential election in 2019 but lost to the incumbent president of the time, Muhammadu Buhari of the APC. Shall I tell you now, say the power of that incumbency is unmatched. Or let's go on your side. And finally, he recontested for presidency under the banner of the PDP in 2023. But lost to Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC. Although there have been controversy of the authenticity of the election due to the cited cases of vote manipulation and election rigging, the election results are now being challenged in court. But while we're on the topic of election results being challenged in court, let's talk about the first governor of Nigeria who was sworn into power by the court after he challenged a fraudulent election in his state. The name of this man is Peter Obi, and his political journey began in 2003 when he contested to be the governor of Anambra State under the All Progressive Grand Alliance. He lost that election to his biggest opponent at the time, Chris Ngige of the PDP, as declared by INEC. Peter Obi refused to accept the election results, so he took the case to the court. Meanwhile, Chris Ngige began ruling as governor pending the resolution of the case. And to the surprise of everyone, Peter Obi was declared the rightful winner of the 2003 presidential elections by a court of appeal on the 15th of March 2006, nearly 3 years after the 2003 gubernatorial elections. After this happened, Anambra statesmen pleaded with Peter Obi to allow Ngige continue as governor since he had already started and he is doing moderately well. But Peter Obi declined. He told them, and I quote, "If a thief stole your car and kept it in good conditions, does it mean you shouldn't take it back?" Man, this guy is stubborn. 2 days after the court declared him as the rightful winner of the elections, he assumed office as the governor of Anambra State and the first ever governor sworn in by the court in Nigeria. But even after the victory in the court, Peter Obi's battle with Anambra State's political structures was far from over. You see, here's the problem he faced. When he assumed office, he had no House of Reps or anybody from his party in government because his party APGA was still a baby in governance at the time. And 7 months after he assumed office in Anambra State, on the 2nd of November 2003, he was impeached by the Anambra State House of Assembly. There were several reasons the House of Assembly gave for impeaching him, but the most prominent was Peter Obi's refusal to inflate the state's yearly budget. His deputy governor, Ms. Dame Virginia Ngozi Etibia, replaced him as governor during this time. Peter Obi took the House of Assembly to court and overruled their impeachment. Mrs. Dame served as the governor for only 3 months and transferred back power to him in February 2007. And just when Peter Obi thought he could catch a break, he was faced with another issue. You see, in 2007, 4 years had passed from 2003, the year he was supposed to start ruling if INEC had declared him the rightful winner. But Chris Ngige ruled majority of that period while they battled out the election results in court. And now a new governorship elections was scheduled to take place by 2007. These elections were held and Andy Uba from the PDP emerged as governor-elect. Peter Obi took Andy Uba's victory to court on the grounds that he had not served his own full 4-year tenure as provided by the Constitution. The Supreme Court declared Andrew Uba as unduly elected and returned Peter Obi to power. They ruled that he should be allowed to serve his full 4-year tenure till 2010, and so it stood. And after his 4-year rule, he recontested to be governor in 2010 and was re-elected as governor by the people. Peter then went on to serve as governor of Anambra State till 2014 when his tenure expired. Later on in 2014, the PDP led by the Deputy Senate President at the time, Atiku Abbubakar, visited Peter Obi in his house in Onitsha to delegate on him joining their party, saying that they consider him a key political leader from the Southeast extraction. And after delegations, Peter Obi agreed to join the PDP, leaving APGA. In his own words, he said, and I quote, "The issue of joining a national party is not about what was happening in APGA, but because of the need to be a competitor and not a spectator in national affairs." Peter Obi will later go on to be the vice presidential candidate of Atiku in 2019 under the PDP, losing to the incumbent president of the time, President Muhammadu Buhari. Later on, Peter Obi went on to share his vision of a new Nigeria in interviews and seminars all around the country. This gave him a large following, and in 2022, when he realized the PDP wouldn't zone the presidency to the south, he quietly left the party to join the Labour Party and became their presidential candidate. He contested the elections in 2023 but lost to Bola Ahmed Tinubu as declared by INEC. But Peter Obi has yet again challenged the election results in court, saying that he wants to bring a new era of political competence in Nigeria. But while we are speaking of competence, let's talk about a man who overthrew a president because he felt he was incompetent. The name of this man is General Muhammadu Buhari, and in 1983, he overthrew a civilian president named Shehu Shagari because he said in his own words that the civilian government is hopeless and corrupt. The irony, the irony. After he overthrew Shehu Shagari and became military head of state, he suspended the Nigerian constitution, which allowed him to commit several human rights abuses and implement harsh policies aimed at promoting economic stability. Unfortunately, these policies fairly worked, and if anything, it dampened the economy of Nigeria the more. And out of frustration, he was overthrown by General Ibrahim Babangida in 1985. After he was overthrown, his thirst for power didn't end. In 2003, he came back as a reformed civilian and contested as the presidential candidate of the NNPP, but lost by a margin of 11 million votes to the incumbent President Olusegun Obasanjo. This didn't discourage him. In fact, in 2007, he went on to recontest to be Nigeria's president under the NNPP again, but again lost to the candidate of the PDP, late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, although he didn't accept the results of this election, saying that it was rigged, and he refused Yar'Adua's offer to be part of his government. Later on in 2010, Buhari would leave the NNPP to join the CPC, a party he helped build, and become their presidential candidate for the 2011 presidential elections, but yet again would go on to lose to the incumbent president at the time, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. This particular election was marred with a widespread of violence in the country, with Buhari supporters attacking Christians majorly in the north-central region of the country. The violence claimed the lives of over 800 people in Nigeria, and Buhari rejected the results of the elections, saying that they were fraudulent, threatening in his own words that if it should repeat itself in 2015, by the grace of God, the dog and the baboon would be soaked in blood. But he wouldn't just go on to leave some snack remarks, he backed it up with action. Buhari would go on to join Bola Ahmed Tinubu and combine their political strengths, forming a new party called the APC. He became their presidential candidate in 2015 and contested the presidential elections. Now, under the platform of the new party APC and with the threats he made in 2011, he was able to beat the incumbent president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, finally snatching power again as a civilian president. He would go on to be re-elected in 2019 for his second tenure, and his regime as a civilian president mirrored the same hardships faced when he was a military head of state. But God passed him, and Nigerians survived.